Present value. The money invested in an account bearing an annual interest rate of R in decimal form, compounded n times per year for t years, is called the present value, or PV, of the account, or of the money. And again, we will use the TVM solver, where A is the value of the account at the investment's end. Now the TVM solver will always round our values to the nearest penny, as we have already seen with future value. Example, compounded present value number 1. Compute the present value of the investment with the given conditions. How much money do you need to deposit now to have $250,000 in 30 years, compounded monthly if the account earns 6.75% interest? Now notice that this question actually says find the present value, but notice that when it says how much do you need now, that is the present value, not how much money do you need later. The time factor is very important here. So when we're looking at our time value of money solver, we'll fill in that N, capital N, is equal to 12 times 30, because that is monthly for 30 years, which would be equal to 360. I as a percent is 6.75. The present value is unknown, so I'm going to circle solve. The payment is equal to 0, because we're not adding to the amount. Whatever we put in at first is staying in the account. Future value is 250,000. P/Y and C/Y will both be 12 because we are talking about monthly. Now again, the values in the options we have are 1 for annual, 2 for semi-annual, 4 for quarterly, 12 for monthly, 52 for weekly, 365 for daily. And then we will choose payment end because there is no payment. It doesn't matter which one we choose. Let me go ahead and pull up my TVM solver. Input these values. So capital N is 360. I percent 6.75. Present value is blank. Payment is 0. Future value is $250,000. Make sure you put enough zeros there. P/Y and C/Y will both be 12 and payment at end. So I will click solve next to present value and find that value is negative 33,186.23. That means that our present value, the amount needed, would be positive $33,186.23. Think about the cash flow. What that means with the negative value means that money is coming in or coming out of an account, and so one of those will be negative each time. So if a negative comes up, you can write it down as that's what the TVM solver said, but you would interpret that as being a positive value, since we aren't concerned with the direction change of the money, or the direction the money is traveling. Example, compounded present value number 2. Compute the present value of the investment with the given conditions. How much money do you need to deposit now to have $25,000 in 18 years if the account earns 4.8% interest compounded monthly? Then it says how much interest was earned. So capital N will be equal to 12 times 18, because that is 12 times a year monthly for 18 years, which that is 216 for capital N. I percent is 4.8. Present value is unknown, so I'll circle solve on that line. Payment is 0. Future value is $25,000. And once again, because we're monthly, P/Y and C/Y will be 12, with payment being at the end or the beginning doesn't matter because there is no payment. Now let me pull up my TVM solver and input these values. Capital N is 216. I% is 4.8. Present value is blank. Payment is 0. Future value is $25,000. P/Y and C/Y are both 12, with payment being wherever we want it. Under present value, I will click the button that says solve. And that value is negative $10,555. Negative $10,555. Which means, how much money do you need to deposit now? That present value is positive $10,555. But now for the second part of the question. How much interest is earned? How much interest is earned? Well, we're comparing our future value, interest earned, is the future value minus the present value. How much we got or end up with minus how much we actually put into the account. Well, future value is 25,000. Present value is 10,555, so we'll subtract 25,000 minus 10,555. If we subtract those two, we find the interest earned is $14,445.